All right, welcome back. In this video, we're going to be talking about the different approaches we can take to building responsive websites and web applications. So in the last video, we talked exclusively about desktop first, where we design, all of our designs are for the desktop, and then we kind of build these breakpoints for smaller size screens. Now, you have probably heard of mobile first. Mobile first is gaining a lot of traction. But it's kind of a funny thing where we would, as developers, probably like to develop mobile first all the time. But it's not up to us most of the time. Most of the time, it's up to our design team. We're going to have this flexible approach to whatever the design team designs first. If you're building a mobile application, you're probably going to get a mobile screen first. If you're building, say, an enterprise web app, you're probably going to get a desktop size screen first. And then they're going to give you this design and say like, oh, we'll get the other designs for you later on. And so you're like, okay, I'm just going to design this thing and then we can set our breakpoints later. It is important to know the difference between the two. We're not going to super focus on mobile first. We'd really like you to get the grasp of creating responsive sites in general first. But let's talk about mobile first, right? So mobile first means that we're going to get some designs and our screen is going to be set for a mobile size screen. Now you're like, okay, so do I do a media breakpoint at max width 400 first? And the answer is no, right? We write our CSS like we wrote our CSS before. We write it to fit a mobile size screen. So maybe you resize your screen. Maybe you're like, our mobile is going to be 414 and below because that's the size of like a standard XL phone now. So you get to 414. Ooh, if I can get up to it, where is it at? Somewhere around there. Okay. And then you start writing your code, right? And you write your code, and you'll notice like maybe your width is 100% at mobile. Right? You're like, cool, 100% width at mobile looks great. All right. The boxes look fine. I'm going to put those on both, on all of them here. And that looks great. And then you go like, oh, what does it look like on desktop? And you blow it up and it's like, oh, that's too much, right? We want to have some constraints on desktop, but we don't have those designs yet. So I'm not going to worry about that. Let's keep it at mobile and let's design our whole page and build our whole site based on these mobile designs. And then later on, we'll get into it and we'll build them. So whereas we used max width to mean the maximum size of the page for desktop first, we are going to use min width, which means the minimum size of the page for mobile first. So whereas, let's go back to this, we wrote our main content for the largest possible size page, and then we did step down our breakpoints to smaller size pages. Mobile is the opposite. We create our content for the smallest size page first. It's our main CSS content. And then we set breakpoints to add content at larger sized pages. So, right, we have our main CSS, then we have a breakpoint with a minimum width of 500. So that means the page has to be at least 500 pixels wide or larger in order for these styles to take place. Then we may have another breakpoint for 800 pixels, right? So it has to be at least 800 pixels wide or larger for these styles to take place. And so our breakpoints then grow. Whereas we went from highest to lowest as far as our cascade effect went with max width, we need to go from lowest to highest with min width. Like I said, this can be a little confusing, pretty confusing actually at first. Hard to really grasp, like when do I use max and when do I use min and what does max mean and what does min mean? Like I said, this is some bonus stuff. Let's really focus on the desktop first, but I just wanted to show you the mobile first stuff as well. So let's come down here and I'm just going to do some quick, let's say our mobile site is from, let's just do this real quick. Mobile is from 0 to 500. Let's just say 500. Okay, so those are everything above here is our mobile, 0 to 500. Then let's say at 500, and I'm gonna just uncomment this, even though it's not what we want. Let's say at 500, we want to change some colors. And we also maybe want to scale back this width. So let's go, what's called box, just regular old box. Box, and let's go width of 75% at that. Okay, so, oh, that's max. I meant to say min. Let's go scroll down. Oop. Sorry for the confusion. I meant min width. So let's go and let's say like, oh cool, our mobile site looks great. Let's go get above our mobile and look at our tablet site now. So 500. Okay, it doesn't look right, but the colors are harsh. But yeah, we have a different style now, right? So before that, we had our styles here. And then at 500, those new styles take precedence, right? We still have things like the display, the justify, the align, all of that in here, right? We still have the height of 100 pixels in here. We didn't change that. But at this breakpoint, at minimum of 500 pixels wide, we're going to have whatever changes we asked for are going to take precedence. Okay, so that's min width. Let's go do another one real quick. Let's set it for 800 because that tends to be about our. And you might have a question like, how do we know which breakpoints to set it at? And that's the question for this of the century. There's a lot of different trains of thought. There's a very specific breakpoints. 768 is an iPad, or it used to be an iPad. Now we have Pros that are much bigger than that. I like these very generic breakpoints myself, but most of the time it's going to be set up by your higher ups or the design team at what breakpoints they want. You don't get to choose. So let's just go with 800 right now. And let's say we're going to go with a 50%. Let's go Dodger Blue. I liked that gold before. And then let's go Peach Puff. And then let's also do something new, right? What we've done in the past is we've always changed an existing style. Let's add a style to this. Let's go margin 0 auto on this. Let's see if that works. Ain't gonna work. Yes, it will. Cool. So now let's look at this. We've got our mobile site. We've built this first. We grow above our mobile site, right? Maybe this is like stacked boxes here because we had, you want this like more friendly approach of the stacked boxes there. We got to this. I don't know what the difference is. Just change the colors a little bit. And then we get to our desktop site, and we've got some different stylings and different colors. We can do so many different things with this. Maybe on our desktop site, we go 25%, and instead we're going to go display inline block. And we want them side by side now, right? Look at that. How crazy is that? Maybe let's go this margin auto on our don't forget your semicolons, everyone. Cool. So let's go look at our mobile site. Our mobile site looks great on mobile. Our tablet site, oh, the colors changed a little bit and they've centered themselves. So, okay, so we have like kind of this more larger screen feel to it. And then maybe on desktop, we go side by side on these because we don't need to stack them any longer. And we make them a little bit smaller, right? There's so many different things you can do with this. You know, that's why you see so many different looks. That's why a mobile site looks like a mobile site and a desktop site looks like a desktop site, is because this is all really important stuff. And you can change this around however you'd like when you're doing it. So it's just a little quick example, but let's talk once again about mobile first, right? We create our main base CSS for our mobile size screen. We then make breakpoints for larger size screens. So at 500 pixels here, so 500 pixels and above, which is minimum of 500 pixels our screen can be, we're going to get these new styles, and a minimum of 800 pixels, we're going to get these new styles. All right. So that's how mobile first works. Have fun with your project. Have fun with the guided project. We'll see you in the next video.